So don't come from wherever you're coming from to the United States unless you do so legal, even though now there is no legal process. As I said the other day, this is an immigration policy. There's no immigration going on here. This is an invasion. NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt just the other day. They have finally awakened to the fact, oh my goodness, there's a border crisis. You know why? Because it's in New York now. These people are all in New York and Washington. There's no border crisis unless it hits the border, their neighborhood. Other than that, they could care less. Let's take a look at this. Cut 4, go.
Now to the crisis at the southern border and the news that the number of...
Whoa. Did you know there's a crisis at the southern border? Wow. Well, I think I've been underdoing it on the numbers because I'm hearing today it could be 7 million illegal aliens in this country. 7 million? That's almost the population of New York City. But I want you to think about it. I read somewhere that is the population of, or larger than the population of 32 states. 7 million? That's a significant sized state with a real population. And I ask where are all these people? Oh, you see 100,000 in New York. That's not 7 million. Where are they? They're everywhere. And they're in the shadows everywhere. God knows. And what does Joe Biden want to do about it? Joe Biden wants to give them jobs. Well, at whose cost? Your cost, obviously. Health care, food stamps, special federal government IDs. Oh, gee, I wonder what that's for. And all of a sudden, they're going to like voter ID, aren't they? And on and on. So this is an obvious, intentional, purposeful assault on America. And I have an entire chapter on that, the war on citizenship, because that's what's exactly happening right now. Go ahead.
Migrants entering the country illegally is back at record levels. The mayor of one major city saying they're at a breaking point. Julia Ainsley is in Texas tonight.
Tonight, the border crisis up close. Our cameras there as this group of hundreds of migrants illegally crossed the Rio Grande into Eagle Pass, Texas. Border Patrol removing razor wire installed by Texas Governor Greg Abbott.
So here we have the state of Texas trying to protect its boundaries because Biden's trying to flip the state and overwhelm the state with illegal aliens, right? That's what's going on here. And so they put the razor wire on there, and so the feds are ordered to cut the razor wire. This is really sick. Go ahead.
Behind me, you have Border Patrol coming in to rescue some of these migrants carrying young children to try to keep them from crossing here and getting cut on this dangerous wire.
So we're not securing the border. Basically here, we're the Red Cross, right? Pretty much. And I remember seeing a video last week where the Border Patrol isn't doing this because they want to. They're doing it because they're ordered to do it. I remember one guy gets through the razor wire and he's standing there and says, "Where do you want me to go?" Did you guys see this? And he says, "Wherever you want." I can go wherever I want? Yes, go wherever you want. And he walks off. Go ahead.
Border Patrol says the wire can pose a humanitarian and drowning risk. Federal agents start cutting the wire, allowing the migrants to enter the U.S. Most of these migrants are from Venezuela, headed for cities throughout the country. We meet this family with a 6-year-old son who just cut his arm on the wire. What we've gone through on this journey.
My advice, don't come. Every home has, or most homes, they have either a gas or electric burner, right, on your stove. Do you put your finger on it? No, why? You might burn yourself. Okay, so don't put your hand near the stove. So don't come from wherever you're coming from to the United States unless you do so legal, even though now there is no legal process. As I said the other day, this is an immigration policy. There's no immigration going on here. This is an invasion. This is immigration. That's like saying when a country is conquering another country and their forces are there. Oh, look at that, immigration. It's not immigration. This is an intentional invasion. Obviously, Venezuela, which is run by a Marxist, is letting these people out and wants them to come here. They're doing this in third world banana republics all over the world. We have people coming here from Haiti, coming here from parts of Africa and the Caribbean, coming here from Turkey, from the Middle East, It's borders open, baby. Come on in. And we're processing everyone. I just love it. What we need to do is get them papers, you see. Legalize. Well, who are they? Well, it doesn't matter, you know. Got to get them through, like the DMV. Go.
It's not worth it, he tells us.
Why do you say that? What happened?
Deaths along the way, blackmail, they rob us, they kidnap us, he says. This young woman says she was sexually assaulted and extorted in Mexico. They gather with hundreds of migrants under this bridge.
I wish they hadn't passed through that so quickly, where the woman's crying because she was raped on the way to the United States. I want you to look at every one of these situations, and I want you to understand that Joe Biden has done this. There's always going to be some level of illegal immigration. There always has been. Nobody's ever seen anything like this. No nation's seen anything like this unless they're in the midst of being conquered by another nation. But nobody's ever seen a country voluntarily open its borders like this. So the rapes, the kidnappings, the involuntary servitude of young teenagers into various shadowy types of businesses, the drug cartels, the drug coming into America. These are impeachable offenses in my view. I don't know how much more I have to say that or even encourage the Republicans to take it up. I do it here, I do it on Fox, I do it on radio, I do it when I talk to these congressmen. I mean, don't get me wrong, we need to go after the financial issues. But we need to do this too. Go ahead.
DHS officials tell us most migrants illegally crossing the border are processed and released into the U.S. We've just learned in August over 300,000 migrants crossed the border.
Stop. Now I want you to think about that. 300,000. So in about 5 or 6 weeks, you have the population equivalent to the city of Baltimore coming into the United States. Is that not unbelievable? You have the population almost the equivalent of the city of Baltimore coming into this country every 5 to 6 weeks. That's what we know of. Go ahead.
The highest monthly total ever. In just the last 24 hours, over 11,000 migrants were encountered by Customs and Border Protection.
Now I want you to think about that. 10 to 11 to 12,000 on a really bad day, 14,000 illegal immigrants coming into the United States. Think of the biggest football stadium that we have. So think of the fact that in 4 or 5 days, that's the number of people, if that football stadium is brimming with, sellout fans and so forth. Consider that amount virtually every 4 or 5 days coming into the country. It's unbelievable. Go ahead.
The mayor of El Paso sounding the alarm.
And we have come to what we look at a breaking point right now.
Republican Texas Congressman Austin Pfluger blames Biden border policies for encouraging more migrants to come.
The president needs to close the border. He needs to do the right thing. Stop abandoning us. This is not normal.
The administration says they're working with Mexico to ramp up enforcement. Meanwhile, DHS officials tell me they expect the numbers here to rise.
So it's interesting now we have NBC with some people down there, and it's nice that they did a report, although it's 2 years late. They say better late than never, but still it wasn't extensive enough. You can't get this done in 2-minute or 2.5-minute news coverage. Why don't they have like one of their magazine shows go down there? What is in 60 Minutes? Rather than trashing Netanyahu and his government, why don't they send Leslie Stahl, forget it, somebody serious down to the border to do an entire 20 minutes or 17 minutes or whatever they do each segment, down to the border to go through exactly what's taking place there. Everybody keeps asking the same question. Why is this happening?
For all this and much more, sign up for Levin TV.